Taslima Begum, her husband and 3 children fled the Myanmar military crackdown on the Rohingya in late December. She says a boatman demanded $70 for each person before he ferried them across the Naf River into Bangladesh. More than 650,000 Rohingya have fled across the border in recent months. Rights groups say Myanmar's military killed around 7,000 Rohingya men, women and children in the first month after the crackdown began in late August. But the Bangladeshi and Myanmar governments are already preparing to offer what they describe as voluntary repatriation for refugees who want to return to Myanmar. Taslima, like many refugees, says she will not go back.
No, we won't go back, not under these circumstances. We've been persecuted and brutalized there. They took all our possessions, our crops and cattle. We would rather die here than go back under these circumstances.
The repatriation agreement is based on a similar initiative by Bangladesh and Myanmar after a previous crackdown on the Rohingya in 1992. It involves the Myanmar government verifying the identity of refugees who want to return. But thousands of Rohingya have never had sufficient identification documents proving their residency in Myanmar. The then Burmese government stripped them of their citizenship in 1982. Myanmar's army has destroyed hundreds of Rohingya villages in recent months. So the repatriation plan involves putting those returning in 2 temporary camps. The deal includes a role for the UN, but in what capacity remains unclear.
At the present, the situation in Myanmar is not conducive for repatriation. Hundreds of thousands of refugees here are traumatized and they need psychosocial support. Rohingya refugees are still coming to Bangladesh on a daily basis, even on a low rate.
The Bangladeshi government is estimated to be spending around $4 million a day to help house and feed the refugees. And it's signed off on a separate plan to move around 100,000 refugees from the camps to temporary shelters on a coastal island that critics say is highly vulnerable to typhoons. Western governments, including the US, say Myanmar's government is guilty of ethnic cleansing of the predominantly Muslim Rohingya. They ask who can guarantee the security of the refugees like Taslima and her family if they return to Myanmar. And how can they go back when their lack of citizenship, which has made them so vulnerable to violence and persecution for decades, has not changed? Charles Stratford, Al Jazeera.